Good morning, Don Steele. The name of this chapter is Women First. This is a picture of Ben Franklin in Paris. He was sent over there to get the French to sign up for the revolution. He turned out to be a great womanizer. His famous letter to a young man who asked him about an older woman as a lover. He gave him 8 reasons, and the 8th one is the funniest. 8th and lastly, they are so grateful. That's under the picture at the beginning of the chapter. Women first. I've assumed your courtship skills are corroded and useless after years of marriage, or you're a young man who doesn't have much experience, or you're an older guy who doesn't have any experience. If you can easily date 27-year-olds, skip this chapter. A relaxed, confident manner is mandatory to date young women. Catch 22 again. Relaxation comes from confidence, which comes from repeated success. Nothing succeeds like success is not an empty phrase. Learn or relearn social skills and build your confidence by courting only females you have a good chance of being successful with. Successful in this case means they say yes and they'll go to Starbucks for a coffee with you. That's all that's required to get this started. If you insist on beginning with desirable young women or not spending enough time mastering the fundamentals, you'll get a good ass kicking. Don't overmatch yourself. Younger is harder. At any age, it's humiliating, frustrating, expensive, corny, lonely, painful, and all that. But learn or relearn you must if you're ever going to date that 22-year-old redhead receptionist at your dentist's office. You know, Jenny, the friendly one with the big white teeth, big green eyes, big soft tits, and a big round ass. Beauty scale and age ladder. The younger the woman you are dating is, the younger the next one will be. The better looking the woman you are dating is, the better looking the next woman will be. For guys who don't have much experience, this means start with females near your age at the bottom of the beauty scale. After learning from your mistakes, gradually move up the beauty scale. At a workshop, I was covering this point. I could feel and see the resistance. I said, I fucked a 1 and several 2s and many 3s because I couldn't get up the nerve to approach any cute girls. Stunned silence. One guy mumbled, the great Don Steele fucked a 1? I replied, Margaret Schwarzenegger, my town's version of Rosie Roundheels. Plain-faced, 5'3", 180 pounds. You have to get started somewhere, some way. Moans and groans from the guys, giggles from the girls. T-Babe Kate, famous for her mandate, you gotta give good phone, spoke up saying, my first boyfriend in 6th grade was a fat boy with braces no other girl wanted. Then she asked each of the other T-Babes to talk about their first days. Each testified their own first boyfriends were not attractive, pimples, dorky, or nerdy. Kate sums it up. We got started, now you guys have to get started because no attractive woman picks a guy who has no game, like he can't unhook her bra or go down on her a way that's enjoyable. Raucous laughter from the T-Babes. To get experience, start at the top of the age ladder with women near your age. And after learning from your mistakes, gradually move down the age ladder and slowly up the beauty scale. Women are over 30, divorced or living apart from a former live-in lover, and have supported themselves for 5 years. Women are realistic about money, time, sex, as well as what's possible with you. They know who they are. They are more comfortable with and accepting of themselves as human beings. They worry far less about little things and keep long-range perspective on life. They permit themselves to be different, resisting trends and fads. A woman looks at the world and sees something similar to what guys over 35 and I see. She's not cynical, but she's not brimming with optimism and hope as a young woman is. No matter what your age, you can't go from high school baseball to Dodger Stadium. You have to pay your dues in the minors. But don't wait until you're setting the Bush League on fire batting .473. Move as soon as you're able to function at the next lower age rung. You can't play, let alone score, in the majors until you can hit big league fastballs. But you can't even get good one on a hard one until you've stood in the batter's box and seen again and again the power sliders as well as the curves thrown by young women. You'll get suckered by those curves and kiss the dirt, especially after you've been beaned a couple of times. Reggie Jackson's been beaned. Carew was brushed back every time. Rose got fooled by changeup. Not many bat over 250. My average is only 190, even after I learned to patiently wait for my kind of pitch, translation, until she shows interest. There's much more coming up in the chapter Court Her. Beginning with women reduces the pressure. When there's less at stake, you're relaxed so you can breathe. Thus you are successful. Catch 22 defeated. It's easy to meet women. You're surrounded by them at work. And there are women within your existing circles, giving you a far wider selection. If you don't do well with the first, there's a second, a third, and a fourth. Women you'll meet. There are 4 types, all divorced. I doubt if you ever meet one who is never married. I sure didn't. Ex-housewife, swinging single, old girls, independent woman. One more time. Ex-housewife, swinging single, old girls, and independent women. Ex-housewife. After years of being only a housewife and mother, she has a hard time accepting the single status when it comes. She doesn't know much about the real world and how to survive. She's frightened of the future and doubts her ability to handle the problems and responsibilities by herself. She's bitter about the divorce as well as about life and resents men. In spite of this, she wants another husband as soon as possible. That's all she knew. So she's willing to date recently divorced men. A woman, even if she's been on her own for a couple of years, is quite inexperienced with courtship because she was stuck at home for 10 or 20 years. You'll learn the crucial importance of taking your time, being patient, both required skills for young women. She's as uncomfortable about dating as you, so she's an understanding person. She will help you get past the fear of approaching and talking with a stranger. This is a first step, something every journey requires. Since I told you of her request for a new husband, you won't blow a gasket when she wants to know your plans for remarriage before the salad arrives, right? You'll tactfully use my answer to inevitable questions later in the book, smile and say, could you pass the salt, please? Swinging single. She avoided the housewife trap. She's less afraid of going it alone and doesn't usually turn out to be a secret man-hater. She's not looking for another husband right away, if ever. Her agenda is similar to yours. If she's divorced less than 2 years, she's making up for lost time and lost youth by dating and fucking every acceptable male at every opportunity. This woman and her sisters can help you the most as you ease down the age ladder because she insists on ritualized preliminaries, requiring the male to appear confident, casual, and indifferent. She doesn't mind if you fake it, but you must have that attitude. The good news is the prancing and dancing phase can be as short as 20 minutes after you get the hang of it. Swinging singles, they're ready to go. All you gotta do is put on the act. These women are nearly all shallow and defensive. They weren't that way when they got divorced. They changed for self-protection. You can inadvertently pick up a disastrous idea about younger women from these swinging singles. You may think all single females behave and believe as these girls do. Wrong. Young women are nothing like them except you need to be confident. Although much of what you learn with them is directly applicable to young women, this phase and these women can be hard on you. Occasionally, your ego will get smashed and your feelings brutalized. Some of them are unbelievably cold and dishonest. This is only a learning stopover on the way down. Don't let the overall phoniness be discouraging, as there are a few genuinely nice ones. Don't spend more time than 4 months dating swinging singles. Too much time here will make you as hard, as cruel, and as phony as they are. You'll have no chance with real females, young or any others. Old girls. She's an immature female in an aging body, a divorcee who hasn't grasped the essence of the real world. She's trying to live the happy single life she fantasized about while she was married. This girl's hallmark is irresponsibility in general, financially in particular. She's moving back with her parents at age 32. She lost her job for being absent too often, staying up all night, snorting coke. Her ex wonders where all the money went. She blew half the settlement on a new wardrobe, new furniture, new stereo, new television, new refrigerator, new everything. She blew half of what was left going to Hawaii for a month. I deserved a vacation. After coming back from Hawaii, she got rid of the rest as a down payment for a red BMW 550i Turbo. and the first and last plus security deposit to move into single sanctuary luxury apartments in Marina del Rey. The rent was $1,875 plus utilities. Her car payments are $830. Her salary is a whopping $2,800 a month. These females are useless in your re-education process. They have all the bad qualities of a young woman and none of the good ones. Excuse yourself and get some more ice for your drink when she begins telling you what bad luck she's been having. The independent woman. Women divorced for a long time, housewives or not, are self-sufficient. Their agenda includes enjoying life, period. They are much more selective about men since they are content to be alone, not attempting to make up for anything, and only interested in long-term relationships and judge you accordingly. She seldom dates anyone divorced for less than a couple of years. Having learned the hard way, these men are troubled and trouble. She's easiest to talk with, but spots bullshit at 50 yards, having heard it all before. She doesn't want affected behavior. She insists on sincerity. You can have the most fun and learn the most about yourself dating these women from 45 to 35. That's after you can go out with one 3 times. When you can do that, you're ready for almost women. Here's the repeating paragraph that's in every chapter. Mistakes. There's no other way to learn. Only mistakes teach. Learn from everyone you make. We each get it at a different pace. Each guy has a different tolerance for failure. When you fail at anything, it sets you back in self-esteem and confidence. Don't fail. Why? You can't help but see yourself as a loser. Stop. Change something, anything. No matter what your age, if you don't have any experience, start with females slightly older, 6 and below on the desirability scale. They're easier to meet and talk with, and usually better people too. No matter your experience level, you will learn the fastest by starting at the bottom of the beauty scale and the top of the age ladder, just like divorced guys have to. If you resist, reread the chapter of what works and what doesn't. I call it chapter 0. It begins the book, but I didn't read it to you because I didn't want you to start off with a negative mindset. It's every major mistake the guys have made consistently since the book came out. If you're the kind of guy who wants to know why before you do anything, get the book, the All 11 in 1 Dream Girl series. And in the last book called Relationship with Dream Girl, I spent a long time explaining why women insist on experience and a minimum level of confidence before they'll go out with you. Courtship groups for women. Each 5th birthday puts a woman into a different courtship group. 30 to 34, 35 to 39, 40 to 45, and over 45. I didn't make this up. That's the way she sees herself and society treats her. If you've been divorced for at least a year, aren't an emotional basket case, and look under 50, begin with the 35 to 39-year-old group. Those who don't meet those requirements have to begin higher on the age ladder and lower on the beauty scale. After dating 30 to 34-year-olds, you will learn how women who are spiritually far younger than you are think, behave, and what they value. An added benefit is you get to meet and make friends with even younger people. Another wild guess, it'll take you a year at this level before you're ready to assault the under 30. You can begin with 30 to 34-year-olds if you look under 40, unless you are an emotional wreck from the divorce. Spend a year doing 4 things at once: relearning meeting and dating, developing the right attitude, outlook and behavior toward females in general, learning from your mistakes, and finally making young friends. Remember, only a few months with swinging singles. You're learning how to relate to real people. Breakthrough, almost women, 25 to 29. You can meet and talk with these next to the best females only if you've made friends with younger people. You'll be able to date them if and only if you're easily dating women 30 to 35. Although they have much more experience with how the world really works compared with their younger counterparts, most retain the nicer qualities of youth. Their tastes in clothes, music, and males are radically different from women's. They relate to men more like co-eds than women a few years older. It will be easier later to date 22 and 23-year-olds than the first 27-year-old. Don't whine, pay your dues, and learn your way down the age ladder. The ones who have never been married get possessive quickly. You're only a bit too old to marry. Who knows, you might just fall in love here and never make it down to the next rung. The more recent her divorce, the crazier it gets. During the first year, she regresses to 20 or 21, even if she's approaching 30. It's her way of making up for lost youth. You know exactly how she feels. 29, a special case. Divorced or never married, she faces an emotional upheaval similar to the midlife crisis males confront at 39. This woman is genuinely offended by someone your age trying to date her. Your interest is hard evidence she's not young any longer. Don't take it personally when she rudely rejects you. She doesn't have any more against you as a human being than you have against a woman over 40. You should know exactly how she feels. Warning, want a 357 hole in your chest? Date any separated, not divorced woman. You can get 2 holes in your chest if you go out with anyone involved in a custody battle. Go to her place. Her ex's ego and dreams have been crushed. He's waiting to see who comes out of her apartment between midnight and 6 in the morning. The younger he is, the more dangerous he is. If he's a cop, a fireman, or any other low self-esteem macho guy, you're dead. Do not get involved with these women. How do I know that? I had a 357 pointed at me. I was very lucky. Lose the battle, win the war. If you can't get anywhere when you move down the age ladder or up the beauty scale, your attitude and outlook are lacking. Move back up a rung, reestablish your confidence. No war was ever won without a single retreat. But this war is different. Since you're a man, not a boy, and she's only a young woman, you must have ethics and not play by the rules Disco Dick and everyone else is playing by. All's fair in love and war. Ethics is next.